To Afghanistan now, which is facing multiple crises at once at the moment. International aid has largely dried up since the Taliban toppled the US-backed government in August last year. Winter has brought widespread food shortages to an already crippled economy. Millions are facing famine as the country's worst drought in 2 centuries shows no sign of letting up. Women face new restrictions and are largely shut out of public life. And there are reports of widespread violence against people who've worked for the former government. Meanwhile, the Taliban has encouraged people not to try to leave.
United again in Germany. Mina Naderi has made it out of Afghanistan with the help of her niece Nargis.
It's simply wonderful to see her here in front of me. I had almost given up hope that we would ever manage to bring her here. It's a huge dream come true.
Today, Nargis is visiting her aunt Mina Naderi for the first time since her arrival in Germany. Mina has found shelter in a refugee camp a 2-hour drive away from Berlin. She's here with her 7-year-old daughter Raha and her husband. The last few months have been exhausting.
We never would have thought that we would ever leave Afghanistan. Sadly, the Taliban have set Afghanistan back not by 20 years, but by centuries.
In Afghanistan, Mina Naderi was deputy mayor of Herat and even ran for parliament. She actively supported women's rights and campaigned for a more modern Afghanistan. She was a public figure. When the Taliban took Kabul, she went into hiding with her family and started looking for a way out. Mid-November at Berlin airport. Mina Naderi finally arrived in Germany with her family. It was a moment of great relief after a strenuous escape. The family had managed to leave Afghanistan by land using fake passports. A German lawyer organized the visa for Germany and the flight tickets. Now the family are in safety, all but one. Until the Taliban takeover, Mina Naderi's 15-year-old son Nima sang in Afghanistan's children's choir. But the Taliban cracked down on music. Nima had to escape. In mid-December, he and his fellow musicians arrived in Portugal. The Portuguese authorities had got them out of Afghanistan. His mother in Germany is hoping she'll get to see her son soon, somewhere in Europe.
I'm satisfied. I'm in safety. My son is safe in Portugal, and I'm very happy about that. We can stand on our own 2 feet again. I wish for God to bring peace to Afghanistan so that we can return to our home and better off than we were before.
Mina Naderi and her family can stay in Germany for the next 3 years. Raha goes to school here. The family will soon be relocated to a camp closer to Berlin. They're still collecting donations to help the people in Afghanistan.
We're now joined by Lukas Wehner. He works for an organization of German army veterans who are helping Afghan staff that assisted Germany's forces there. How many former local staffers are still stuck in Afghanistan? What are you hearing there from your local contacts?
Good morning. Well, 24,000 allowances were given out. 15,000 Afghan local staff are still there. So we estimate that currently 10,000 are already in Germany, but the people who are left behind, they are really struggling. They are still hiding. A lot of them are leaving maybe once a week their places, go to the market, buy groceries. Some others have left Afghanistan. They're in Pakistan, but we are in touch with some who are in Bosnia and Croatia. They're living on the streets, and a lot of them, most of them, are desperate.
You mentioned the number that you estimate 15,000 former helpers are still there. Do they all want to come to Germany, in effect?
Yes, they worked for the former German government, and so they want to come to Germany, and we have a responsibility to get them here. We, as a support network for Afghan local staff, we did own evacuation procedures during the last weeks and months. We evacuated nearly 200 of these former local staff. And we hope that we'll be able to do these procedures during this year.
Mm-hmm. So you just took in 200, but with more than 14,000 still left there, that's a Herculean task. Are you getting any help from Germany's government at the moment?
We do not get any help, and it's the big problem. We are running out of money to do these evacuation procedures. We need about 2,200 euros to evacuate just one single person. In addition, we have costs for passports. One passport currently is about $700 US. The Taliban, they don't get a lot of money from foreign governments, and so they try to sell passports for huge amounts of US dollars. And so that's a big problem. And, after the evacuation operation, US President Biden, he asked the State Department in the United States to work together with NGOs in continuous evacuation operations, but the German government hasn't done so. In mid-December, we had our first talk with the German Federal Foreign Office together with another NGO, Kabel Luftbrücke. We were invited to a state secretary's office. And, the results of this talk weren't really pleasant. We will not get any financial support in the future. That's what they told us. And the biggest problem is these evacuation lists of these 24,500, they are fixed. And so a lot of our Afghan local staff, though, they still have children in Afghanistan who are above the age of 18. And these kids are left behind, and their parents are now in Germany, and the German government doesn't want to get them here. And that's a big problem. That's really unacceptable.
Lukas Wehner there, the sponsorship network for Afghan employees of the German forces. Thank you very much for joining us here on DW News.
Thank you.